systematize it accordingly so that we know where to start. And then figuring out, where do we invest our time? Where do we best secure ourselves is the next step. If we know what the threat is, we've defined the threat, we've defined the risk, and now we're talking about, how do we reduce that risk? Where do we spend the money? And if you see the ones at the bottom here, we're really talking about things that we can help you with. All of these should be addressed, and in the best way possible. And this gives us the ability to understand that if we lose that segment, we're not losing the entire body, the entire organization, or that Windows XP systems cannot be secured. There hasn't been a patch out in forever. What does that mean? Well, if you plug it into the internet, it will get owned in about 12 seconds or less. There's no way we can protect it. So understanding that, that's why we would fix it. Or even if it's locked in a closet and it's still plugged into the internet and doesn't touch anything else, what if it inadvertently allowed them access to the printer it can see that is then attached to the network, and therefore they leapfrog in? So really understanding that and creating policies from acceptable use to password creation to all of this is necessary, and including backups in that, and then testing that. Really, we have to understand cybersecurity, multi-factor authentication. I was talking to a county this morning that is moving to a biometric system. You have to use your fingerprint to log into your console. Good idea. And then as long as that system is then secured in the best way possible, it allows them an ease of use. You don't have to remember the password because your finger's attached. Hopefully it also makes sure the finger's alive, because I want to make sure my body parts are more valuable to me, the bad guys, right?
Yeah, new definition of hacking.
But, yeah, maybe an older version of hacking, but that one we want to consider. And then understanding the assessments, having these done. Maybe if we can't do it quarterly, we're at least doing it annually. I was very proud of you that are doing it quarterly. That's great. But I'm also cognizant of the fact that having a separate assessment, somebody else's eyes, is necessary. I wouldn't use the same company, even if it's us and we're the best, I would argue, in my biased opinion. It's okay to use others too. Why? Because it gives us a different set of eyes, different way of looking at it. And then doing things like monitoring. It's part of NIST now. Thou must monitor. Well, we're really good at it. Find somebody like us, or at least as good as us. If you're going to do monitoring, make sure it's very good. Why? Because you don't want to waste your time. Training is always impactful. 911, public safety, and a lot of other associated markets are really good at training. Well, let's train for this too, not just for cyber hygiene, but for when it happens. And having that incident response plan out, dust it off. If you don't have one, we'll help you create one. But the point is, have it. And it could start with just understanding the risk. Go through these steps and you can create a plan from it. That's really what we're